Frank Hannon, and you're tuned in to BackstageAxxess.com. Don't go anywhere. This is where the real show begins.
Hello, everyone. This is Chris with BackstageAxxess.com, and we are here today with Frank Hannon from Tesla. Welcome, Frank. Thanks for taking the time to talk with us today.
My pleasure. I feel very grateful that people are interested.
So let's talk about the new record, Simplicity. We're really excited about it, and the title seems to sum it up quite nicely. It seems to be a real return to kind of just the basic, blues-based rock and roll. Was that intentional on the part of the band going into the project?
No, we had no idea we were going to call it Simplicity going in, or for that matter, we didn't really have any intentions other than just to try to write some great songs, because that's where it all starts. What we did is Brian Wheat and myself, we managed the band, and we decided that we definitely needed to set a deadline goal for ourselves to get an album out for this summer. And so then we took a calendar and we worked backwards, and we said, okay, we need at least this much time here, this for mixing, recording, mastering, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
But most importantly, we need time for writing so we made time to go out to a very secluded location in Virginia that's owned by our co-producer Tom Zutot. He's got a barn and a farm out there that's an old bed and breakfast place that was from like Civil War era.
Okay.
And so we went out there to get away from everything, just to collaborate on our ideas and do what's called pre-production. But the recording process was very simple, because once you have the material written, it's kind of like a stand-up comedian. Once you have the jokes, you can get up there and tell the jokes pretty easy.
Okay.
But you got to have the jokes first.
Right. So talk a little bit about the songwriting process. Was that mainly you and Brian, or is it more of a whole band effort, or how does that?
Well, no, it's a whole band effort. That's why we have to get away together as a group and get away from any distractions to work as a group. So basically what happens is we all get together in a room, and each one of us has been noodling around and toying with ideas on our own. And we get a drawing board. We literally get a white dry erase board,
okay,
put it on the wall, and we make a list of Dave's ideas, Brian's ideas, Jeff's ideas, my ideas. And we have tentative working titles for those ideas. And then everybody sits there and discusses them and has a brutally honest discussion on the strength of those ideas and what those ideas may need, and then like whether they need better parts or choruses or arrangement. And we'll just sit there and brainstorm on those. And then once we get those ideas sorted on a list, then we'll work with Jeff and get an idea of what he may be thinking a good lyric would be to go with that musical idea.
Okay.
And then Jeff and I, the rest of the guys will leave, and then usually me and Jeff will stay up all night and finish the lyrics.
Okay. Now, the songs are great on the new record. I mean, they're just great rock and roll songs. And there's a lot of acoustic guitar, a lot of electric guitar, and I know Tesla's kind of known for blending in that acoustic vibe to a lot of their songs. Do you have a preference, one or the other, acoustic, electric, or do you enjoy both, equally, depending on the song?
I enjoy both equally. Me, myself, have always been the guy who added the acoustic guitars in the music since the beginning. Going back to Little Susie, I did a little acoustic solo, finger-picking style. I grew up really more listening to country when I was a kid, Hank Williams and Johnny Cash, and then then I was influenced a lot by Peter Frampton, and if you listen to Peter Frampton's live album, a whole side of it is all acoustic.
Right.
And hippie music like Hot Tuna and It's a Beautiful Day, and bands from the San Francisco sound had a lot of acoustic, and my mom was a hippie.
So, being with the two guitar players in the band, working with Dave as well on the songs, how does that work out? How do you decide kind of who's playing what? Who does a solo on this? Who puts one in here? Or do you kind of play them and see how it goes naturally?
Right. When we're in the room collaborating as a team, in the old days, we would use a little 4-track recorder to make demos. It's like demos like a scratch pad.
Right.
And so when we're in that stage of it, usually one of the guitar players will feel a part and go, "Oh, I want to play something over that," and then we'll do it on the demo. And if it sounds great on the demo, then that person will stick to it. Usually. Now, you asked me the question about the electrics and acoustic. I like to blend both, and I made a custom guitar stand that attaches to my pedal board that holds my acoustic in place while I play the show live. So live, I play electric and acoustic in the same song at the same time, usually.
Okay. Cool.
But getting back to guitar overdubs and solos, it usually depends on who comes up with the original idea of the song. Like if Dave kind of had the majority of the original idea of the song, then typically he'll have the idea for what melody he wants to play over it.
Okay. Good deal. Now, you guys are going to hit the road this summer here in the States. Are you looking forward to being back out on the road this summer?
Well, yeah, it's been a very busy summer already. When I first, I hope you're recording this because I can tend to ramble.
I am.
Okay. Like I said, when we were making the record, we had to set a goal for a deadline, and that deadline was for the European tour, the Download Festival in particular in the UK, the hugest festival over in Europe. We've already been over to Europe. We've done 2.5 weeks over there playing festivals, and we just played a weekend here in our hometown, Sacramento Rocks Festival. So we've been very busy, and we're going to be busy all the way through October.
And what can the fans expect from the shows here in the States? Are you going to be featuring a lot of songs, off Simplicity, with a mix of some of your older stuff as well?
Yes, right now we're playing 3 and going to expand it to 4 or 5 songs off of Simplicity. We're playing MP3, which is the opening track. It's a real heavy track. We really love playing that live. Ricochet is another rock and roll song goes over live. So Divine, our single, we're playing that. And then also by the end of the year, we hope to be playing the ballads off the album, like Life at the River.
Love that one.
And Other Than Me, we're probably going to try to play too. And then when it comes to our other material, we try to play at least one song from each record. And then we have some staples that we just have to play every night because the fans will murder us if we don't.
Right, understood.
And those are Modern Day Cowboy, What You Give, Love Song. So there you go. That's pretty much how our set works.
Okay. Now, you had mentioned, growing up listening to a lot of country and a lot of different genres of music come across, with the songwriting. And could you tell me some other of your biggest musical influences? I know you mentioned Hank Williams, but maybe a few others.
Well, I've gone through phases, I go through phases of influences. I still do to this day at, 48 years old. I went through my Jimi Hendrix phase where I was really influenced by Jimi Hendrix. I went through obviously early phases on, like Led Zeppelin and Aerosmith, the Rolling Stones.
Right.
Today, I'm going through a phase of really appreciating Muse and Matthew Bellamy and what he does in current music.
Okay.
The guy's amazing. Singer, songwriter, arranger, piano player, multi-instrumentalist. Leonard Skinner, you know. So yeah, you know, I even like hip hop. I can drive my kids crazy sometimes, and I listen to 50 Cent.
We're not going to have a Tesla hip hop record in the future, are we?
Probably not, but you might have some elements of hip hop on my solo albums.
Okay.
Speaking of which, I have 2 solo albums. I actually have 3 solo albums. One's called Guitars from Mars. One's called Gypsy Highway, and another one is called Six String Soldiers.
Okay. And anything coming up in the near future on that? Maybe after?
No, I'm 100% gonna just occupy my time focusing on Tesla for the next year or 2.
Okay.
And simplicity. We put so much into simplicity that I just want to focus on that.
Understand. Now, getting back to on the road, do you have a favorite guitar that you take on the road with you? You know, have a go-to guitar? I know you probably have, like most musicians, a ton of them, but is there a favorite one?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. I do have a ton of them, and I'm planning to hold a huge auction pretty soon of a lot of the guitars that I've collected. I have a buyer actually in Reno. There's a shop called Bizarre Guitar, and there's actually a really cool video that Sean the Golden did recently on Facebook. You can find it. Maybe you can link it on your site.
Okay.
And Bizarre Guitar is going to probably take a bunch of my stuff and put it up, maybe some of it for charity.
Okay.
In particular, a white double neck SG guitar that I used in the Thank You video is one of them. But the reason being is my favorite guitar has always been a Gibson SG Standard.
Okay.
And I have 4 of them that I use in the show. One of them is white, and one of them is cherry red. And the other 2 are also like a cherry red color. And the Gibson SG Standard is my favorite guitar. And so a lot of the other ones that I've collected, like Les Pauls and things, I'm going to probably sell.
Okay. Fair enough. Now, I know the tour schedule has been pretty full for you and it's going to continue on through the summer here in the United States, but how do you like to spend any free time that you do get while you're out on the road?
When I'm out on the road, you know, if we have a day off in a really interesting place, you know, a city or something, I like to go walk around and you know, but for the most part, I just get rest. I get more rest when I'm on the road than I do when I'm home, because when I'm home, we have a horse ranch here. My wife is a professional cutting horse person.
Okay.
And a trainer, and we breed horses here, so I have a lot of work to do when I'm at home.
Okay. So she has a list for you when you get back from tour that has to be done, right?
Yeah. It doesn't even make it to a list. I already kind of know what I can do. I love being home, but I love being on the road, too, because I get rest.
Okay. Understand that. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today. We appreciate it, and best of luck with the new record. We just love it. I think Simplicity is just one of the best records I've heard in some time, and we're looking forward to the tour coming up as well.